can discipline desire, whether one can curb it, is a deeper question altogether, which is, what do you do?
When you're telling the truth, I'd rather be realer than you. Illusion. They don't like it when you're telling the truth, I'd rather be realer than you.
I've been banned on basically every single platform, from Airbnb to Uber through to social media platforms, payment processors, absolutely everything. And you're completely right. I teach people and inspire people to think for themselves, and that makes you the enemy of the establishment, because you are not allowed to think. You're only allowed to complain.
Illusion. They don't like it when you're telling the truth, I'd rather be realer than you.
If a man isn't free to say what he thinks in the way he wants to say it, if political correctness or hate speech or whatever, if a man can't even express himself the way he thinks it, is he free? And what they do first is they restrict your speech, because if they restrict your speech, then they can start to restrict your thoughts. If you're not allowed to ever say it, then you're probably not going to think it so often. This is why it's done on purpose. So I don't think that society is very free at all. And I think that in regards to keeping our employment, keeping our money coming in, making sure we don't lose our social medias, every single person has to censor themselves to some degree.
Illusion. They don't like it when you're telling the truth, I'd rather be realer than you.
Have you seen the clip of Putin? Putin said this in an interview. They said, what do you think of Trump? And he said, I've been through 3 United States presidents. You can Google this yourself, gentlemen. He said, I've been through 3 US presidents, and they all have amazing ideas. But the ideas don't get implemented because people don't understand how strong the bureaucracy of America is. When the people with the dark suits arrive and explain to him how things are really done, his ideas will not come to fruition. Putin said himself, the president has people above him telling him what to do. Putin knows it. Everyone knows it, right? Trump's the first guy who said, no, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And they just attacked him with their propaganda machine. A non-stop onslaught of attack.
They don't like it when you're telling the truth, I'd rather be realer than you.
I'll tell you this. So, Andrew, can you tell us about toxic masculinity and what it is in your eyes? Does it exist? Is it a farce?
Toxic masculinity.
Because you're considered the king of toxic masculinity.
Yeah, I've got that title.
Yeah.
Toxic masculinity is a term that was invented by women nobody wants to fuck to describe the men that the women do want to fuck. It's
Damn,
jealousy.
son, where'd you find this?
That's all it is. That's all it is. No, but on a real level, right, this whole idea of being toxically masculine is complete garbage. And the reason it's garbage is because it's a first world problem first. Because when you put males and females in survival situations, or the closer they are to a survival situation, the quicker they're going to revert to their gender roles. If you put a whole bunch of men and a whole bunch of women, you strand them on a desert island, the men would start having to build things and fight off the animals, and the women would start farming and whatever the women would do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So when shit hits the fan, everyone reverts to their natural gender roles. So if you live in a country like Romania or Russia or a country that's poor, the closer it is to survival, the lower the economic prosperity of the country, the closer people are to their natural gender role. So Russian men are masculine, Russian females are feminine. But in America, it's the richest country in the world. It's a first world problem. All the women get to be stupid and the men get to be pussies because it's just a first world problem. This whole idea of being toxically masculine is absolutely garbage. Nobody's toxically, listen, you're not going to call me toxically masculine if someone breaks in the house and I start spraying. No one's going to start calling me toxically masculine. No, there was no one called toxically masculine when they were fucking staying on the Titanic to die. Right? The whole thing is garbage, and it's just by women who are bitter and jealous, trying to insult and demonize men for being natural to their instinct. I don't want to rant too much, right?
No, continue.
I don't want to rant. Okay, let's go. Let's go. The world we live in today tries very, very hard to refuse a man his natural instincts as a man.
Yeah.
And this is done on purpose. This is not done on accident. There's no war on men on accident. Men are the ones who start revolutions. If you look at any revolution in history, it was the men who were on the street and started that revolution. If you want to control a populace, the first thing you do is control the men. When the Romans went and conquered Sparta, they killed all the men, all the young boys, all the fighting age males. When you're left with nothing but females, you can conquer and control a society. We're living in a world right now where there's supposedly some virus and you have to stay in your house and put a mask on, and everyone's complying like cowards. And the reason is because they've destroyed the masculine spirit in men. If you would have told men 100 years ago, we're going to take your business away, we're going to bankrupt you, and they're going to lock you in your house, every single man would have stood up and said, what? Who are you? You ain't listening to us. The people who are in charge of the world want to control the population, and the easiest way to do that is to remove the warriors from the populace.
Facts.
That's all it's about. So when men try and act in a masculine way, they're toxically masculine. They demonize us. And then another way they do is they try and shame us. Shame is another tactic. Oh, Andrew, when are you going to grow up and stop fucking all that hot pussy? Grow up.
Who hurt you?
Yeah,
who
like,
hurt you?
Who
Yeah.
hurt your feelings? I'm enjoying my life. Right? I'm enjoying my life. Like, and I enjoy the company. I'm not saying I can't be loyal if I have a girlfriend, of course. But also if I'm single and I don't want to be loyal, I'm a full-grown man, I can make my own choices, right?
Yep.
Why should I be demonized or shamed for that? But they don't want that. They want men. We are the backbone of every economy.
Facts.
They want us to be worker ants.
Facts.
They want us to be semi-depressed with no fighting spirit to resist against the tyranny. They want us paying taxes as tax slaves in a sexless marriage with kids who don't respect us. No one talks about male depression. Nobody cares that the men are miserable. Nobody cares. As long as we pay our taxes and we don't divorce her because we're scared of losing the house, and we continue to raise those kids and sit there while she refuses to give you a blowjob more than once a year, that's all the government wants from men. That's all they want from us. That's it. And that's why toxic masculine or toxic masculinity was coined. It was another weapon, a weapon against your natural instinct as a man to rebel.
They don't like it when you're telling the truth. I'd rather be realer than you.
They fired their biggest weapon at us. They looked at us and thought they have too much power, too much influence. Let's hit them with the most powerful weapon we have. Let's cancel them, close all their accounts. Let's make them vanish. Let's destroy their influence. That's the biggest bullet they have. Imagine shooting a man with your last bullet and he stands there, unfazed.
When you're telling the truth, I'd rather be realer than you. I had to make me a
So why did Andrew Tate get banned?
They did not tell me. They did not send me an email, no correspondence. I certainly didn't break terms of service. I guess that's why they couldn't send me an email and explain why. Nobody told me, whether it was YouTube that banned me or Meta that banned me. They banned me instantly and forever without any kind of correspondence. They've not told me why. They've not told anyone what I did. The media machine, in synchronization with the ban, we can call that coincidence if you want to believe in such things, came out with some kind of bullshit explanation that I'm misogynistic or some garbage. But the actual social media companies themselves provided no explanation at all, no correspondence at all. They just deleted me. That was it.
Now, are you doing anything about it? Are you having your legal team trying to find out why they did that, or you're not taking any action right now?
I do have a lot of things happening behind the scenes. However, and perhaps I'm becoming optimistic in my old age, but I believe that in due course, the social media companies will realize the mistake they made. I think that, and like I said, I don't have intimate knowledge of the workings of social media companies, but assuming they are semi-professional to any regard, and that is a big assumption, but let's assume they're professional. That means that when they ban somebody like me, especially the most Google search person on the planet, they must have teams which are analyzing in real time the response to said action, right? Mm-hmm. They should have people sitting there on the ground analyzing. Now, they attacked me with their media machine because first they shut you up so they can lie about you. So they shut me up. Then they did the massive media push to try and attempt to lie about me. But despite that, the majority of comments regarding me are still positive. The majority of people believe and understand that this ban is unfair. And if these companies have any degree of professionalism, they're analyzing this in real time and they're understanding that this makes us look very bad. People didn't believe the lie. People didn't believe what we attempted to smear this man with. Nobody's buying this narrative. And this is going to have a negative effect on us for a very, very long time. Because when you're in charge of the world, which they are,
as soon as you're no longer seen as just and fair, you're seen as tyrannical. And once you're seen as tyrannical, then there's going to be some kind of mass movement against you. So if I was a social media executive, I would sit and I would analyze the data and I would say, listen, guys, we will have a monopoly. We want to retain our monopoly. Let's be smart here. Being known as tyrannical amongst the public consciousness across the entire planet is going to make it very difficult for us to hold our monopoly for a longer period of time, as opposed to being seen to be fair. Even if we're biased, we must be seen as fair.
Sure.
As soon as we're seen as tyrannical, that's when the revolution. Look at Ceausescu. As soon as you're a tyrant, that's when everyone hits the streets.
Yep.
So I think that if they have any kind of serious data monitoring and if they have any kind of serious business professionalism, they are now talking in dark rooms, understanding that this has played out very badly for them. And if they intend on keeping their monopoly into the future, that they need to change something. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but we will see.
Who was the first one to take you off?
Meta.
Meta was first. So
Meta.
Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook, Insta, bam.
Okay. And then it was a domino effect.
Yeah, so Meta took me down. So it's quite interesting, actually. I had a YouTube channel for a while. It was never so large. I had 738,000 subscribers. It took me a long time to build it up. I got a strike on YouTube, which prevented me from posting. It's got a strike. No big deal. The next day, Meta took me down, deleted my Facebook and my Instagram. The press came out at exactly the same time in sync, saying that I'm a misogynistic, dangerous person, that I'm harmful, that I am the reason that the world is not a perfect place, world hunger, you name it, all my fault. Attacked me across all of this. And I thought, okay, let me film a message that I can get out on my YouTube, my final message, which I don't know if you guys have seen. I ended up putting on freetopg.com. Let me film my final message explaining how this is unfair and unjust. We filmed it, we produced it, we got it all edited within 12 hours, head to toe ready to go, but we couldn't post it because of the YouTube strike. So we're waiting for the YouTube strike to expire. A few hours before the YouTube strike expires, guess what happens? They banned me from YouTube. Then they banned me from Discord. Then they banned me from Airbnb. They banned me from Stripe. I can't even remember.
Airbnb?
It was just emails coming in faster than you could believe. Ban.
So it wasn't just the socials.
Oh, no. The Matrix presses a button, my friend.
Yeah.
And every app on your phone stops working. Uber. You name it. Uber.
Stop.
You name it.
Wait, you can't use Uber?
Well, I can use Uber. You just start a new account, right? But
yeah.
Oh, sorry, Uber. Catch me. But
yeah. Your main account on Uber was taken.
They take everything from you.
Everything. Coordinated effort all at once.
Coordinated effort all at once. Every single one of them just goes, no. Delete. And they come at you and they come at you with everything.
And Stripe.
Banks.
Payment processing.
Oh, and banks. UK-based banks as well. High Street, banks. But I can name Santander, HSBC, Barclays, etc. all at the same time.
Banks.
Oh, no, sorry. To change, we've decided because blah, blah, some bullshit, some letter, close your accounts. So they take all your banking, they take your payment processing, they take all your social media presence, they take your Discord, they take your Skype, they take all your accounts, your ability to communicate with people, and then they lie about you in the press.
When you're telling the truth, I'd rather be realer than you. I had to make me a